Hello. As heartbreaking as it is to imagine or admit or think about the fact that your narcissist is reaching out to many people at one time while he's hoovering you, while he's trying to contact you, while he's doing all that, as horrible it is to think of that, it is a real thing that they do. And you know what? It helped me. That did help me once I realized that. I'm going to explain what I mean. And I know it's as painful as all get out to think of, but it is the truth. If you have not been with your narcissist, they have not been alone. We know they can't be alone. They've never been alone. When they're in a relationship, they're not even alone with you. We know they can't even do that. Let alone, you think what? You've been broken up and they're hoovering you. Say a month has gone by and they're hoovering you in our last example. And they're in the middle of leaving the 39 calls. You think what? He's been by himself this whole month? He's been alone? You haven't talked to him. You've been doing no contact, or so you think, and now they're trying to call you and you're having a hard time, right? You think that you're the only person he's trying to call? By now he has what? Probably a new supply, maybe a new supply, maybe another new supply, maybe he's playing the field. He's calling a bunch of people at one time. You're just getting to be a bee in his bonnet because you won't answer him. You know, I just want you to understand that we know they can't even be alone when they're with us. Let alone, okay, now you broke up. And let alone for them to stay alone to try to prove their love to you. Oh, please. Please. Which is what a real person in love, non-disordered person might do if there was a breakup. Somebody, you might retreat to corners, work on yourselves, and then come back with a new state of mind, but nobody went out on anybody. That can happen. You spend time alone. You don't feel the need to run back out into the world. Well, the narcissist does run back out into the world when he's with us. Of course, he's doing it when he's not. My God. It helped me because it made me realize that oftentimes, this is just another thing, it might help you not answer the Hoover. Oftentimes, it is whoever bites right now is going to be the one that spends time with the narcissist. They could be copying and pasting their way to hoovering several people at one time. And I mean that. I do mean that. Copying and pasting their way. And whoever answers, that's who's going to spend time with the narcissist. They most likely are copying and pasting many people at once. I refused to be the person who bit. Eventually, I folded back and forth quite a bit. I was honest about that. I definitely did. But until I realized this factor, once I realized this, I didn't want to be the person who bit. And I refused to be the person who bit. It was enough of something for me to learn that made me say, oh God, no. I'm not going to be the person that bites. And it was a multitude of things that led me there. Probably part education, they tell you that, but also experience. I realized it eventually. They're juggling many while they're with us. What do you think they're doing when they're not with us any longer and now they've had freedom? Why would we suddenly think that they're not juggling many now that they can, now that they're allowed, but now that they have space and time and freedom to do so, why would we think suddenly they're not juggling? They are juggling, okay? So they're hoovering you after a month. They're hoovering other people. They already had a relationship and broke up with 2 other people. They're hoovering them too. And they're trying to woo their new supply. All at the same time. And you know, they're telling you that they're pining away for you. If they were indeed doing the pining, they'd be here. Nobody's been pining. There's been no pining. Tell me you're pining. You'd be here. There would be time and action they would be bestowing upon you in regularity, on a consistent basis, over the course of time. Repeated actions ongoingly, as can happen again with a normal, non-disordered breakup of breakup and getting back together cycle. They messed up, they know it, they realized it, and they behave accordingly to get each other back. They find their way back to each other. That is not at all what is happening when the narcissist is hoovering you or reaching out to you. The normal stuff. That's not at all what's going through their brain. Oh, I really messed up. I am apologetic. I hope she answers me. I love her. I'm going to her right now. I'm going to ask her to marry me. I'm not losing her again. That's a non-disordered way of thinking. Your narcissist is never going to formulate those words in his head. The words that they're formulating is, how dare she not answer me? They're going to get angrier and angrier that you're not answering. Tell me your narcissist doesn't get angrier and angrier when you don't answer. Mine would end up screaming on the phone that I wasn't answering him. He was beside himself, the way he acted on the phone. Oh yeah, real big performance. But once I caught on that it's not the normal stuff, and they're trying to say normal stuff, but I love you. Once I caught on, it doesn't even feel good. It feels rotten. It's usually dirty and seedy. It's in the middle of the night. They're 3 sheets to the wind drunk. There isn't a sincere breath that they take. And they're juggling a bunch at one time, throwing it all out. That really helped me stop answering. I think that's what brought me around the corner and over the edge, is I realized that it was not just me. You follow me? And I don't care if it's just one other person. I'm not saying they might, but they're definitely having a go at somebody else. If they're not with you all the time, they're with somebody. They can't be alone. You follow what I'm saying? They can't be alone. They always have a collection of people going, and they've added to it since you. They've added to it since you. Already. They don't dump those people to hoover you, the people they've added. They hedge. They hedge. They would never risk being alone. So they've been out there collecting a bunch of new people, reaching out to some old people. They got some things working. Okay, I have a day off from these people. Let me try to get back in contact with this one. They hedge. That's what they do. They don't have the fortitude to survive by themselves. Isn't that sick to think about? They act like these big, strong people. They don't have it in them to be by themselves. If you said to a narcissist, I want to see if you could live by yourself for a year, 6 months, a month, a week. A week. I could be in this house for a week and never talk to a human. It happens often. I have no interest. They would be out every night. They could never not have human contact, a phone to do their business, all of this for a week. They could not do it. They do not have the fortitude to survive alone. And if you take all of this into consideration, the next time you see the number show up on your phone, you may be able to find the strength to not respond. There's thunder afoot. That's why she's getting like this. I told you a storm is coming. I think I said it on the last video. But when you see the number show up on your phone, You may be able to find them saying, "Let's respond." If you know that not only are they calling you, they called somebody just before you, and guess what? She might have answered. He might have just hung up having a conversation with that person. So there might even be people answering. But he's still going to try to break you down because that's what they want. They want to see if they can break you down. And I hope that you'd lose the desire to even think about responding when you give these things some thought that I try to share with you, because it is truly not the place that I want anyone to be, that they're taking seconds or that they're accepting lesser than what they deserve. And this treatment certainly is lesser than what any good person deserves. They deserve their own person who proves to them that they're going to be in their life through time repeated, through actions consistent, things like this. That's what shows you that a partner is there that you can trust, that a person is there that you can rely on. This is very unreliable, messy, dirty, ugly behavior. None of it is normal. They don't even come at you normal. The stuff is dramatic, or it doesn't make any sense at all. Or like I said, it's a drunken message. None of it's nice, romantic, none of it. Cinderella didn't have to deal with any of this. Do you know what I mean? It's just a big, ugly mess. And they're doing it to other people. And once, I'm telling you, if you give that a lot of thought, it really can help you. Think it through. You're sitting there going, no, he's not doing. Okay, so you haven't seen him in a month. Where was he? Where did he tell you he was? Well, he told me he was working. Uh-huh. What about at night, in the mornings, on the weekends? They are unscrupulous people as a personality trait, as a tenet to the religion of narcissistic personality disorder. They're unscrupulous. So they've been being unscrupulous. When they're alone without an attached partner, which means like maybe fresh off a breakup from you, they're not really attached yet in their mind, in the world's mind, and whatever. They have freedom. How unscrupulous do you think they're going to be then? They're going to find themselves getting into a relationship because they'll quickly need somebody to devalue. So they're going to cozy up to someone, make them feed their ego and go through that whole cycle. But in the meantime, they're being unscrupulous. So they come back to you for a month, and they're hoovering you, and there's other people now on the playing field. I promise. I know it's hard to probably picture that, but I promise. By nature of their being, that's how they operate. They can't be alone. I just thought I'd mention it because I thought it could help.